Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
New at noon, crews are on scene of a structure fire in Frazee, Minnesota right now. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Schreier. The call came in for reports of a fire around 10 this morning to East Main Street. Crews from Frazee, Vergas, Detroit Lakes, and Wolf Lake were all on scene. At this time, the Becker County Sheriff doesn't believe there are any injuries, but stay with us here at Valley News Live as we continue to follow this story. Taking that live look outside, blue sky sun right now, but that could be changing this evening and we could get some more storms rolling through the region. For what we can expect, let's check in with Storm Team meteorologist Lisa Green.
That's right. That seems to be more the rule lately than the exception, that we have a day with rain chances and thunderstorm chances. And today is, of course, no exception. We're seeing the sunshine, though, right now. Lots of it. It's beautiful out there. And some clouds up to the north, just a few of them. They're not obscuring our view of the sun, though, just giving us a little shade from time to time. But overall, looking at just a beautiful blue sky day. Out to the west, we're seeing some showers in western North Dakota, eastern Montana, and gradually that will work its way to the east and bring us our storm chances for later on, late afternoon, early evening here in the valley. A look at our temperatures. We are in the upper 70s to some low 80s already. It's 82 degrees in Fargo and 83 in Grand Forks. Wind is out of the south in the southern valley and a little more northerly up north. You can tell there is a boundary bisecting the valley, and it's right along that we have our chance for some rain and thunder forming as we head through the day. Here's a look at your planner here today. We may have a couple of rounds of this. We're looking at the chance for some thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. We may get a break and then see more move into the overnight hours tonight. So we'll take a look at that coming up in your hour-by-hour planner. And be aware, some of these could turn severe, so you want to stick around for the latest on that.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. And our recent weather has been prime for mosquito breeding, and now the city is fighting back. Cass County Vector Control sprayed rural cities and subdivisions last night and is now planning aerial spraying of Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead tonight. It's scheduled to start at 8:15, weather permitting. The cities of Grand Forks and East Grand Forks are also planning community-wide spraying at 8 o'clock. And you can help cut your risk of getting bit by the insect of using repellent that contains DEET, limiting your outdoor activities between dusk and dawn when those mosquitoes are most active, and eliminating standing water around your home. And when you are outside, health officials say you should wear long pants and long sleeve shirts to help protect yourself. 3 Minnesota men are facing criminal charges after a sting operation in Mahnomen. Officers from the county sheriff's office and the White Earth Police Department posed as sex buyers on social media, then arrested 3 suspects who arrived at an arranged meeting place on Friday. Police arrested Stephen Berggren of Lake Park, Shane Len of Rothsay, and Michael Shervin of Thief River Falls. A Minnesota women's prison at Shakopee is discontinuing its policy banned unsanctioned contact between the inmates. Administrators implemented the rules when the prison was seeing a rise in inappropriate and sometimes non-consensual sexual conduct between prisoners. New guidelines will allow inmates to fist bump, shake hands, and give high fives, but no hugs. The commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Corrections says the change will foster a more humane environment. When you talk about close calls, this is about as close as it gets. A woman escaped serious injury during an encounter with a semi as she was fetching her flip-flops from a Minnesota highway. State troopers say a 34-year-old woman from Ohio had pulled over on I-35 in Freeborn County in southern Minnesota yesterday afternoon and was running onto the road to pick up her sandal that had flown out of the car just as a semi was approaching. The semi driver quickly moved from the right lane to the left lane to avoid the woman and almost made it, but ended up running over her foot with the passenger side tire. Troopers say that woman, amazingly, was not badly injured. The border crisis appears to be escalating. Not only are migrants still living in what some say are terrible conditions at border stations, but now authorities have launched an investigation into a private Border Patrol Facebook group that reportedly mocks migrant deaths and contains crude jokes about members of Congress. Gabe Gutierrez is in Clint, Texas with the latest.
Anti-immigrant protesters outside the troubled Border Patrol station in Clint, Texas, and members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, all Democrats, touring several migrant detention centers, tweeting out this picture and video, even though they were told not to bring in phones. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling conditions unconscionable.
This was them on their best behavior, and they put them in a room with no running water, and these women were being told by CBP officers to drink out of the toilet.
Border officials later pushing back, calling the accusations completely untrue, adding there are ample supplies. The latest flashpoint in the immigration debate, a bombshell report by ProPublica detailing a private Border Patrol Facebook group making crude jokes about throwing burritos at members of Congress and the meme depicting sex acts involving migrants.
That was a vulgar, disgusting, and vile page.
In a written statement, Customs and Border Protection calls the post completely inappropriate, adding any employees found to have violated our standards of conduct will be held accountable.
I know that the Border Patrol is not happy with the Democrats in Congress. I will say the Republicans do want border security.
CBP has been under fire for allegations of overcrowding and unsanitary conditions, which it has disputed.
Unsubstantiated allegations last week regarding a single Border Patrol facility in Clint Station in Texas created a sensation.
We visited this shelter in Juarez, Mexico, and met this man from El Salvador who says he's already spent 2 months here waiting for asylum, a crisis with no end in sight.
More protests are planned for today at congressional offices across the country, calling for the closure of migrant detention centers. In our consumer alert this afternoon, a new warning from Consumer Reports. There are a number of bike helmets for sale online that don't meet the safety standards. When you buy a new bike helmet, it should have a label inside that looks like the one on your screen, showing that it meets the safety standards set by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. But a recent investigation by Consumer Reports found that potentially unsafe helmets are widely available online. The group purchased more than a dozen helmets that were missing a safety label from 4 websites: Amazon, Sears, AliExpress, and Light in the Box. And to be clear, Consumer Reports is not saying these helmets are definitely unsafe, but because they didn't come with that required label, they may not have been tested. Famed NFL quarterback Peyton Manning is coming to Fargo to share his story for the Chamber's Voices of Vision event. The event will take place Tuesday, November 5th from noon to 1:30 at Sanford Health Athletic Complex. This marks the 10th year for the event, and previous speakers have included Shaquille O'Neal and Rudy Giuliani, to name a few.